Goodness to you. This is Sporty King, and welcome to Friday. I say goodness because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Welcome to Gift Friday. I created it because so often we hear people say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to the person who took their last breath on Thursday, or any day before that for that matter? Therefore, I've learned to use what I learned through Psalm 92 and 2. It is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. So instead of TGIF, I use TGIT. Thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Thus, I add the lesson that I learned in Matthew 6 and 34. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. Thank God it's today. And I offer first, instead, another use for TGIF, and that is trusting God is free. Trusting God is free. Think about it. What does it cost to be blessed with the greatest gift of the day? Waking up. And that still moves us into realizing that when we take the T and TGIF and move it from the front to the end, we get what we really must give God thanks for. And that is GIFT. God is for today. So therefore, Gift Friday is Gift Friday. Gift Friday. With this broadcast, I share one of my original poetic messages, and I'll tell you how to use it in conversation to uplift someone else's spirit as well as your own. And then each poem will then be my gift to you, or it can be. It depends on if you'd like to have a copy. If you like a copy and you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, please email me at sporty@sportyking.com. If you're watching on YouTube or my website, you can just drop that comment in the thread and I'll mail it to you. Use of technology. Why do I say email me if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn? Because that way, when I answer you, I will be responding to your message rather than having your security see me as spam, because there'll be an attachment. So if you're not already in my mailing list, then that's what you want to do. If you're in my mailing list already, then you can just drop that in the thread, and you know whether or not you're, like I said, you know who you are. Okay, but anyway, this week's poem is about the combination of being good and sharing my Christian faith with acknowledgement of God as my guide. Hopefully, it will remind you to do the same. But before I read this week's poem, I reference an affirmation, an inspiration from my book, Starting Today, Weekly Inspiration for Daily Living. Okay, which has a combination theme talking about being good, and then why and how I share my faith and acknowledgement of God. The inspiration is called Blind Faith. Blind faith. I've used that term several times in describing my belief in myself and my business. And I've had it said to me, you don't know how many people you've helped, etc., etc. And I've humbly moved the conversation along. Then I recognized that I could better share my gift by knowing and acknowledging my source. I don't seek to mock or discredit their comments. I seek to strengthen my spirit by knowing that I am doing the work created for me. How did you get where you are today? God is my source. As I help you, to him goes the glory. Blind faith. And see, I wrote that inspiration in 1999. But it was in 2005 that I would write today's poem to connect to it from my book, A Poet in Every Prophet. And if you see the creativity there, I always remind young poets, God is speaking through you. Your poetry is prophecy. Look at the word prophet. There's a P-O-E-T in the word prophet. So there's a poet in every prophet. And with that, I thank you through this poem. I thank you for helping others and enjoying who you are. And I welcome you to incorporate this poem into your life. Its title is, In Fact, I Do Know. You think that because you can touch me, that I don't know how I affect or impact the lives of those I touch, yet you touch me. Therefore, someone less powerful than my God has made an impression on your life and painted the picture of how the impactful should act, which impacts how they impact who they impact. And in that cycle, no one gets credit for knowing how they impact, thus impacting no one. So it's you who doesn't know how you affect or impact the lives of those you touch. Yet it's you who has an influence on mine because you can touch me. You see, we have to know that we make a difference without requiring the instant or visible proof. You see, the proof will come in an instant when you keep your spirit focused on staying calm, cool, and collected. Where you planted a seed will sprout and give you the peaceful flashback of having sown your belief. So let's break the poem down with the first and last stanza, and then what that middle stanza does to bring it together. Here's the first stanza. You think that because you can touch me, I don't know how I affect or impact the lives of those I touch. Yet you tell me I touch you. You see, we open with talking about a physical touch and a relationship. Yeah. According to Luke 10:16, the one who listens to you listens to me. And the one who rejects you rejects me. And he who rejects me rejects the one who sent me. You see, God hears our prayers, spoken or unspoken, and puts people in place to bless us. Sometimes we're so close to the blessing that we don't think it recognizes us. And sometimes it doesn't, until we accept and truly believe that God answers prayer. Don't we acknowledge that we don't know how that prayer will manifest? So that becomes the excitement in the belief, oh, wow, that message was for me. You don't know how many people you've helped. See, when we say those things, and that's why I remove blind faith. Because you just told me who God sent me to touch. Oh man, you just touched me. You don't know how you just told me. Blind faith, I didn't know who I came to touch. But once you tell me, I can remove blind faith and acknowledge that God sent me to deliver the message, and you got the message. And so I, therefore, by the end of the poem, I end up becoming you. You see that? Having that same effect and impact on somebody else. Because in the middle stanza, we read, therefore, someone less powerful than my God has made an impression on your life and painted the picture of how the impactful should act, which impacts how they impact who they impact. And in that cycle, no one gets credit for knowing how they impact, thus impacting no one. Which then allows us to see and feel how the cycle turns to that last stanza of, so it's you who doesn't know how you affect or impact the lives of those you touch. Yet it's you who has an influence on mine because you can touch me. See how that growth happens? According to my Christian faith, among the last things Jesus said from the cross is in Luke 23 and 24. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I take a little liberty with that scripture in saying, I want you to know what you're doing. I want you to know what you're capable of doing and how good you are. Friday through Thursday. I want you to say, in fact, I do know, because in fact, you do know. You just have to believe. I'm Sporty King. Thank you for enjoying Gift Friday. If you'd like to receive your copy, again, if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, email me at sporty@sportyking.com. If you're not on my mailing list, if you are, you can drop that in the thread. If you're on YouTube or on my website, therefore, just drop that request in the thread as well. God bless you and have a safe weekend. That is your gift. And that is something that you should know. Ciao.